What's up guys, Ace here, bringing us a review of Sword Art Online Alicization or of Underworld, episode 21, Beyond Time. And this was like a pretty cool episode. It is very much a slow burner, which is kind of neat. It also had like a few nuances that are pretty interesting and could lead to a few different things, a few different timelines, I guess you could say. And I thought that was really interesting, especially with the fact that last episode we understood that Asuna stayed behind with Kirito because Kirito couldn't make it in time to be released from the world, and so he's staying down there for a little longer. Well, for him it's gonna be a lot longer, but for everyone in the real world, aka everyone else that's like not in the game, it's gonna be pretty fast paced in regards to what's happening. But for Kirito, it's gonna be like for every 1 minute outside in the real world, it's 10 years on the inside of the game. And this, mind you, I think this is all after he had destroyed Gabriel and everyone else that was sort of against them, and the dark guys, I guess the dark territory captains and everyone of that ilk. And so that's quite interesting. I think that's interesting because if they wanted to, I doubt this is the way it's gonna go, but if they wanted to, like the next few episodes, because I think it's gonna be around 3 more episodes of this. I forget when this series ends, this arc ends. I believe it's like 3 more episodes. I could be wrong, but like this could be expanded upon. Like although it seems quite fast paced in the real world, this sort of time manipulation in this series means that we could get very little outside world, out of game dialogue, and have like a lot of in-game dialogue because of the way that the time is based, and that 1 minute is 10 years, right? Like think of this whole episode and how much time has passed during this whole episode. Like, do you think it's going to be more or less than 10 minutes? Like we've had, okay, they were talking about, they're going down the shaft. They're going down the shaft, right? And I don't know how long that'll take. So, I mean, if you look down the shaft, we saw this in the last episode, you look down the shaft, it's around, like, it's pretty deep. Like, you look down and it's just blank. It's just all black. I don't know. Like, you fall down there, you could die. That's how deep it is, right? We don't know how long it took them to go down, but like they were talking a lot in between, and like when they stopped talking, or when they stopped to talk, they literally stopped moving at times. I'm just like, okay, you want to help Kirito, but like you're stopping to talk, and it's just like, like think about the time that it took for them, and also think about the time it took for everyone else to leave to their submarines, which I haven't gotten yet into the actual review, to leave to I guess escape to their submarines. Like this is honestly like gonna be, I feel like 10 minutes worth of actual things happening in the real world. It's like to be like 100 years of content in Alicization, but it's neither here or there. It's probably not gonna happen that way, but if it does, that'll be interesting because we've got a few more episodes left. Anyways, this episode starts off with everyone trying to help Kirito get out. We have limited time. Well, we don't want Kirito to spend their time and Asuna to spend their time inside the game, and so they look for ways to, well, we have a way. I guess Mr. Higa knows how to log out Kirito and Asuna. And we've already got Alice, which is kind of cool. Alice is going to be freed from the game, which is, I think, a really neat idea, where basically they can just take people, as long as they have the flux lights for them to take people, and then implant them somewhere else. Same way they have sort of like Yui, which I think is cool, kind of cool. It kind of sucks that I really wanted Yugo to have the same sort of treatment, but it's whatever, it happens. And yeah, so they go and try to log out, but there's a few problems, especially with regards to how the people who are attacking the whole Wrath Corporation, aka the opposing force, are trying to stop everything because they couldn't get Alice's fleshlight, and so they're trying to destroy everything instead. If you can't capture it, destroy it, right? And so we have a few problems in that they're trying to destroy the whole building. I guess you could say that. So they planted a bomb or something. It's like a plastic bomb. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a thing, but I guess plastic bombs exist. The more you know. Today I learned. And they plant it into the core, I believe. And we get a little cameo. Is that even the right way to say it? Of someone else that we've seen before. Ikeman or Aiko? I forgot what he went by. But this was the guy in red from SAO. He was one of the troops of the, what was that, like the really strong clan that everyone looked into, that Asuna and eventually Kirito was part of. He was one of their members, and I was like, where did he come from? Like I'm thinking, like, how did he, like, was he working for the Wrath Corporation? I don't remember seeing him at all. Like, did he slowly just like incorporate himself into this? How did that happen? I looked around and I didn't see I didn't see too much. So that was kind of interesting how we got there. Especially because once he got there and tried to disarm the bomb that was planted by people who are fighting against they're trying to destroy the Wrath Corporation, or I guess building, he actually might have died, or he performed a miracle, then he might have died. But then when we saw that he died in camera, we looked back again at his body, and like we couldn't find him. Where did he go? he literally just like disappeared, which is super interesting after the little stunt he pulled off with his body, because it looked like for most of it, his systems were very much destroyed. And then it was that one moment where he was told that he was supposed to be Kirito's rival, I guess you would say, that he was able to perform this miracle and then boost all of his system, or I guess fix all his system errors and increase his, I guess, stamina, or endurance, or health of his body systems. I mean, he's a robot in this case, so for some reason, like, he was able to fix these things just by sheer willpower, which is kind of interesting. Like, sheer volition helps you stay together. I don't know. That was kind of cool though. That was definitely kind of cool. Which is also kind of weird is why didn't I know the mission was to get the flashlight and then get out, or just destroy it if you can't get it. But, like, I felt like they should have done a little more in regards to like taking care of this whole thing, because like in the end, isn't this Wrath thing supposed to be for Japan, right? I forgot. Oh gosh, I should have checked this out. But wasn't this for the Japan government? And like the people who are against this, I feel like they don't want anyone to spread any information about like how they got attacked or who attacked them, right? So it's like, why would you leave the employees of Wrath alive to tell the Japanese government? Because then it's just like, oh, like you probably want to make sure you get double security next time. That way this doesn't happen next time. I don't know. Like the people who against Wrath probably should went a little harder. But yeah, it's whatever. I guess it also comes down to the fact that both the captain and lieutenant did die, which was also super spooky. Like the fact that he died in the game. But is it because he died in the game that he died in real life, or is it simply just because like he got his brainwaves fried when he tried to like get out or tried to log out, and he saw himself in that's, I don't know. That was super spooky too, by the way, when we saw that happen. That was super creepy. But like that was basically the episode. Nothing too crazy happened. One of the things I do want to see, I really hope we see like at least one episode. If we have a few more episodes in this arc as the anime, I hope that we do see a little bit of what happens down into the Human Empire, also the Dark Territory. Because like if that much time has already elapsed in the real world, like if taking into account this whole episode and all the things that I've done in this episode that to prolong the amount of time it took to log out Kirito, there should be like a good amount of content, right, in the Underworld to see what's happening down there. Because I really want to see what's happening with the Dark Territory and the Human Empire. If they're going to still be divided, are they going to come together? My idea, someone who hasn't read the original source material, I'm thinking they're coming together. I think it's a high chance they're coming together, but I don't know. It's gonna be super interesting. And what would that look like too? Because like the only path between the Human Empire and the Dark Territory is that like that one path, that one gateway, right? I guess you can start like a trade route there. Like that'd be so interesting though to see what happens there. And who becomes the leader of the Dark Territory, or do they all just fuse into one empire? That'd be so interesting. And then at that point, it's like, is this world that they're in, is it bounded by some sort of, I don't know, is it bounded, or is it like a world, or is it just like one square and you go too far east somewhere and then you just get stopped by an invisible wall? Like how does that, like I'm so much invested in the actual world that I'm like wondering what it looks like if like this whole society / civilization would continue like it has for like for however long they've been doing Wrath, right? Before Kirito was even employed there. That'd be kind of interesting to see. Anyways, that's my review for this episode. tell me what you guys think about this episode. I thought it was kind of cool. I like the gritty feel, the slow, gritty burn feel of this episode. It's definitely needed at times, and I do think it makes it a little more interesting, especially in regards to like the whole scheme of things, where it's like mostly fighting, like fantastical fighting. That is, this makes it just sort of like brings you back to reality, where it's like just gunfights and stuff like that. Like it's more than just the game. It's also like the people on the outside, the real world, that are also part of this game, right? So that's interesting. Anyways, peace out, guys. Have a nice day, and yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think about this episode.